So really excited about this course, creating your career plan. You might be really close to achieving that dream job, okay? You might have a few stepping stone roles that you need to do in order to get there. Now that's cool because in this course, we're going to cover all of it. We're going to look at what a career plan is, okay, and how to develop yours, how to implement your career plan, okay, how to write a goal that is achievable. And we're going to look at producing your personal development plan, so your PDP. And then we're going to look at getting an effective mentoring relationship in place. This is going to be vital for you and producing a career plan that works. Okay, so what is a career plan? Well, your career plan is a continual process that you're going to visit all the way through your career. You might change focus, you might change professions, sectors, your priorities in life may change, but you'll always be able to plan. And everybody should take time out of their day-to-day to reflect. Okay, think about where do you want to be in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now? You know, when you meet people and they say, what is it that you do? What do you want to say to them? Your career plan helps you to identify your next career move by assessing all of the options that are available to you. And then you can go away and make a decision on which route you want to go down, which path is going to make you happy. Creating your career plan will take a bit of thought and reflection. Trust me, it won't necessarily be easy, but you're going to spend so much time in work. Life's too short to do things that you hate. It's definitely worth putting the time in to plan. Having a long-term vision will help you sort out your short-term motivation, okay? We want to keep you really, really, really focused on those goals. We don't want you to procrastinate. We want you to make smarter decisions about your career based on your longer-term goals. And we are absolutely in this course going to tell you how to measure your progress. You need to know when you're on track. Now, in the next few sections of this course, I'm going to talk you through how to conduct your career research, okay? How to review your relevant skills and your strengths and work out what you need to do. Now, creating your career plan. You can decide what your career plan should be in 3 steps. Step 1, reflection. Step 2, research. And step 3, review. Now, step 1 is all about reflection. So loads of self-reflection here, making notes. So I want you to hit that pause button now. If you haven't already got a pen and a piece of paper, or open that notes tab on your computer, we are going to get busy. Now we're going to start with making a few lists to assess where you are right now. So firstly, make a list of all of the things that you're good at. Now this could be professional or personal. Remember, personal stuff can also be transferred into your career. List the things that interest you that you might not have explored yet. So this is different to your skills. These are things that you're naturally good at. These are your interests, the things that excite you, the things that make you feel on fire. The things that make you feel good. We want lots of that here, okay? And make a list of how you want to feel in your next job. So probably happy, I'm assuming. But is it recognised, important, seen, heard, valued? Make a list of 10 things that you want to get out of your next job. And then I want you to prioritise all of those things, the things that are really important, and then look at the top 5, okay? Top 5 out of those 10. That is your list. They are the absolute things that you want to feel in your desired role. So step 2, research. Now that you've done all of that reflection, make a list of the jobs that you think you'd like to do. You might have an interest in writing, so you could see yourself maybe as a journalist or a content writer or in internal communications, maybe an editor, maybe a novel writer. Make a list of as many jobs that you can think of. It's important to write them down. Even if you initially feel like, you want to cross them off, still get them down on paper. They might lead to another thought. So just get them down. Now it's normal for us to feel uncomfortable by doing something out of the norm, okay? So maybe you're an operational leader and you have been for 20 years. So thinking about becoming a PR manager or an events manager might feel a little bit weird. Just do it. The whole point of this is to kickstart you into a new career that's going to make you feel those 5 words we just wrote down. So give this the attention that it deserves. Now, you might feel like you just want to get through this course, but I recommend you not doing this in 10 minutes. So don't just sit there writing things down and Googling ideas. This is the first time maybe that you're going to do this exercise, and I want you to give it the attention it deserves, okay? So maybe this is going to take you a few days. Maybe this is going to take you a few weeks. I want you to go out there and get inspiration from people, not just necessarily Google and the stuff that's in your head. Speak to family, speak to friends. I was a recruitment consultant for 12 years and I didn't even know what that was and if that job even existed. It was only when I took the time out, when I was planning my career back in my early 20s to chat to people. These are my skills. These are the things that I enjoy. These are the things that I want to feel in my job. And then I looked around and spoke to lots of people. So it's important that you, like I said, give this the energy it deserves, because this is literally the basis of everything you're going to do in your career plan. Okay, so now that you've reviewed all of that information, it's time to narrow it down. We want to get you from this long list to one thing, because as I've mentioned in many of my previous Career Cake videos, you can't plan loads of different things, okay? You need to focus, talk to yourself about one thing at one time. That's how you will win. But how do you get to one thing, okay, when you've got all of these potential jobs? Well, here's how to do that. Firstly, look through the list that you've got, okay, and think about, for everyone, all of them, think about what skills do you have? Okay, so what learnt skills do you have for this job? Now, what strengths do you have? Reconcile that against it. Strengths are the things that just come naturally to you. What are your interests? How do you want to feel in your desired job? And reconcile all of those things against your list. And you can work out a scoring system if you want, or, tick, just a tick. If it meets the criteria, that's fine. But make notes of any other things that might impact your decision. Okay, so you've got all of these things down on a piece of paper, all of these job descriptions, but think about maybe some distracting points. So would you have to relocate? Would you need to study and get a further qualification? Is that going to cost you money? Is it going to be really demanding on your schedule? Is it a really competitive industry? Now, these are all points that could make the opportunity appealing. It could also be things that just say, oh, I really, really don't have the energy for that, or I really don't want to do that. I will remind you that, all of these things, if they're going to make you happy, be brave and go for it. But ultimately, I do understand that if we have family commitments and, things in our personal life, you might want to eliminate and just go, do you know what, that's a complete deal breaker. I'm not going to consider that. So that's absolutely fine. Now pick the top 3 to 5 roles that you want to explore further and seriously consider doing, okay? Now the reason I say 3 to 5 is because if you have any more than 5, you'll be spending quite a lot of time doing the next activity. And if you only look into 2, you might run the risk of limiting yourself and coming back to the drawing board later on. So once you've picked your top 3 to 5, find out how much you have to do, okay? Search the job descriptions online, read through them, speak to friends. Who do you know that's already doing these roles, okay? Get on LinkedIn, find out, in your contact list, who's doing it. Ask anyone that you know for a catch-up, a coffee, and just pick their brains. And once you've completed all of this, it's time to look at the roles that you've made and eliminate them again, one by one. All right, we still want to get back to that one career choice. That's the one that we want to pursue. So in the past, I've made a decision of what to do next. For some reason, it doesn't quite sit with me, okay? I've got this gut instinct and something's telling me no. And one of the things I know as a 35-year-old woman is to always trust that intuition. I promise you. That's your knowledge, all of the things that you've acquired over your lifetime telling you information. So believe it, okay? Your gut has to be behind this decision. So there you have it. You've spoken to everybody. You've got your 3 to 5 down to 1. That is your next career move. That is the role that we are going to pursue. Now, I can tell you from my own experience that when you put effort into creating your PDP, you'll be more focused and you'll reach your goals faster. I promise you. The things that I've achieved in my career, I don't think would have happened as fast if I hadn't sat down, created my PDP 6 years ago, and something I still do every 6 months, okay? If you have a plan, you'll just get there faster. It's that simple. Now, there are loads of different formats for personal development plans out there. Your organisation that you work in may already have one. If it's got a big business, you probably do. You might have found something online. You might have found something that you've worked, you've maybe used in the past. Maybe one of your friends or your family members have used one. Or you could literally just create one in an Excel format that is just really, really neat. It doesn't really matter. What matters the most is that your objectives and everything you put down is smart. Okay, and I'm going to cover that in a little bit. Now you know which job you're going to pursue. So get onto the internet and find as many job descriptions for this role as you can. So go to the job boards, go to LinkedIn, go to Google and print them all off, okay? Get them in front of you. And now I'm going to talk to you about doing a traffic light system. This is such a good system. I do it all the time with lots of different projects that we're doing. You need to get 3 different highlighter pens. So a green, a yellow and a red. Go through all of these job descriptions and highlight in green what you're really good at, what you have experience in. Highlight in yellow what you've had a little bit of experience in. And highlight in red things that you have little or no experience in at all. Now, I want you to be really honest with yourself here. And it is, in this instance, better to be overcritical and a little bit harsh. I very rarely say that because I always want you to be your own biggest fan. But in this instance, it actually will help you. Okay, so be really, really honest with yourself and get highlighting. So now you've done that activity, let's talk about what your personal development plan should look like. Okay, so we know we've got your goal. Okay, we've got that there. We know that you've selected the areas that you want to work and you've come up with your decision. And now, after doing that highlighter exercise, you know the areas that you need to develop in. Okay, so when it comes to, keeping a log of progress against plans, I love being able to go back to these to see what my development activity, has been a year from now and am I on track? So think about the things that you can do to get experience in these weak areas, okay? So it's not so easy to think about development opportunities. Sometimes we can think about them all as a classroom. I haven't got time to learn. I haven't got time to go back to school. I haven't got the money to learn that. But there are lots of ways that you can get experience, okay? So work experience, volunteering, shadowing, networking, joining forums and groups, taking on extra responsibilities in your current role, reading a book. I read books all the time. I can't always get to, these lectures, so I read. There's lots and lots of different ways that you can gain experience and knowledge and upskill yourself in these areas, these weak areas, these red areas. So remember that you learn best through the 70-20-10 model. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 10. Formal learning, 10% formal learning. So maybe through courses like this. 20. So 20% mentoring or peer discussions. We're also going to cover that. and 70% on the job. Okay, so how most of us learn through actually doing stuff. It's like when they say that you only learn to drive after you pass your test. So a quick example of this is maybe to spend 10%, so 1 hour, doing a project management course. And then maybe you would spend 2 hours discussing that with peers or with your mentor, and then maybe 7 hours absolutely getting in there and implementing it and learning on the job. Now I'm going to write down your goal now, okay? And we're going to make sure that it's SMART. There are lots of different variations of what SMART might mean, but on this occasion, SMART is going to be the following. Firstly, is it specific? It can be really easy to be woolly about where your self-development issues are and areas of weakness and all that, but we're not going to be woolly. We've gone through all of those job descriptions. With that red pen, we know exactly where we need to develop, okay? So be specific. Measurable. We're going to make sure that everything you set yourself can be measured. All of the smaller elements within this bigger activity can be measured along the way. Attainable. We're going to make sure that this is realistic, something that you can achieve. Might be hard, but it is achievable. And relevant. We're going to make sure that this goal, everything here, is going to get us closer to that dream job. That's the point. And then time bound. We are going to make sure there's a completion date on this that's realistic, but we're going to get something going. We're going to get some momentum. We're going to know when we're going to achieve it by. So that you might be a marketing assistant, but you have dreams of becoming a marketing manager, okay? So one of your SMART goals might be to be promoted to marketing executive within 12 months by doing a CIM qualification and getting involved in 3 projects above and beyond what you're already doing in work. Now that is something that will help you get to the dream goal, which is going to be that marketing manager, but we're going to have lots of SMART goals along the way. So your PDP is a living and breathing document. So I want you to update it constantly. Whenever you've done an activity, tick it off, update it. You can even have it printed out. I have my PDP printed out and I have it on my fridge. So every morning I'm reminded, when I'm in there making a cuppa, I'm reminded of the things that I am working towards. So when it comes to your development, please remember to own it. Sometimes it can be, a little bit difficult, and there will be times that are a little bit more painful than others, but you have to always remember that end goal. We want that dream job, don't we? So keep powering through and stay focused. In this section, we're going to talk about mentoring. So once you've decided what direction to take your career in, you've identified the development areas that you need to approach, we're going to get into place a mentor, all right? Now, throughout my career, I've always had that one person, at least one person, that holds me accountable to my development goals, motivates me, guides me, shares their experiences and helps me identify my blind spots. Now, Eric Postlow, the author of Coaching and Mentoring, Practical Conversations to Improve Learning, describes mentoring as: mentoring is to support and encourage people to manage their own learning in order that they may maximise their potential, develop their skills, improve their performance, and become the person they want to be. I absolutely love that. Become the person you want to be. Now, sometimes people get mixed up between what a mentor is and what a coach is. A coach is somebody that can support you, but doesn't necessarily have to have done that. So you might be a sports person that has a coach, but, to help you be the best basketball player you've ever been, but that person may never have played basketball. So that's what a coach is. A mentor is somebody that's been there and done it, somebody that actually can share with you the knowledge, the things that they did wrong, the things that they did right. Somebody also that can hold you accountable. So every Wednesday, I know I've got to email my mentor my homework from the week before. And even though on Saturday night I stayed in all night and worked on it, because I know that there's no way that Wednesday's going to come and me not send in my homework. So it's so important to have somebody that would hold you accountable, okay? But more importantly, I'm going to say this is so, so important. You need a mentor that you can be real with. There are times when I sit there and I'm really vulnerable and I'm really scared and I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to get through the next challenge in my business. So to have somebody that can just, I suppose, support you even when you're stressed, and somebody that can see, like I said before, see all of your blind spots and still give you that support, that somebody you feel safe with, is really, really important. So I want you to, write down all of the skills that this person needs. So if you need to be really good on social media, find somebody that is good on social media. You want to be an amazing leader, find somebody that's got wonderful leadership skills. So yes, they have to have had the skill set, but write down the type of characteristics you want this person to be. Maybe you want them to be humble. Maybe you want them to be patient. Maybe you want them to be tough. Whatever you think you need in order to have a really effective, real relationship with them. Okay, so write all of these things down. And once you've reflected on that, make a list of all of the things that are really, really important. So again, prioritize these things. And just like when I'm recruiting a colleague, when I'm recruiting a mentor, I label these things. I actually sit down and think, right, these are the actual requirements. I want you to take this really seriously. And then I want you to go out there and get a mentor. How do you find them? Well, you can ask people to help you. So go to your network and say, these are the things that I'm looking for. If you just go out there and say, I need a mentor, you're not helping them. Help them help you. These are the things that are really important. Do you know anybody within this space? Do you know anybody that matches this description? And it's okay to have more than one, as long as they have very different requirements. So maybe you have a mentor to help you be a better leader, but then you might have a sales mentor. You can have more than one mentor, but they have to be very, very separate in terms of your goals, okay? And ultimately, be working towards the end result together. And it's important that they know what's going on with each other as well. But I just have one. I just have one that just because one mentor for me is enough. One person that sees the end goal, knows enough about all of the areas that I need to develop in, and then I just build on that relationship for as long as that relationship needs to be. Now, a mentor might be there for 6 months. It might be there for a year. My current mentor is mentoring me for 3 months because I know at the end, once I've achieved that goal and I've hit my time-bound goal, remember my SMART goal, I'm going to need to do something else. And then I will find a different mentor with different characteristics and a different skill set. So take this section really, really seriously. Now, once you have somebody in mind, it's always best to ask them face to face if you can. Now, if you can't do it face to face, that's not always possible. I get that. Then just sending them an email or maybe a phone call. But what's most important is that you just get straight to the point, okay? Ask them to be your mentor. Just get out there and say it. Let them know why you chose them, okay? So make them feel seen, heard, and valued. Let them know why you picked them based also on the challenge that you have. So I know that you are an expert in this. This is my current challenge. This is the area that I want to develop in. That's really, really important. Now, for me personally, I got my current mentor through LinkedIn. I know that here at Career Cake over the next 3 months, I'm going to be recruiting quite a bit. We're growing our team. So I wanted to have specific coaching on leadership, and I knew that I wanted it to happen within the next 3 months. So I jumped onto LinkedIn and I typed the word leadership into the search engine, and quite a lot of people with the word leadership came up in their job title. And I ended up having somebody that works for a big corporate who's head of leadership for the UK and Europe. And I just sent him a LinkedIn message. We didn't have anybody in, anybody in common. I just went out there and just got straight to the point and asked him. And do you know what? He emailed me back. He emailed me back the next day. In the meantime, I screenshotted his profile and I sent it out to my network and I said, does anybody know this person? I really want to get in touch with him, told them why. And actually, yes, somebody that I know who I actually see on a daily basis used to work with him 20 years ago and they're friends. Now, how wonderful. She was able to put a little call in and back me up a little bit. He says he was going to call me regardless, but I'm sure that that phone call from her helped. So just be brave and get out there. Now, once you've got your first mentoring meeting set up, face-to-face or on Skype or however you're doing it, it's really important that you do loads of prep. So if you can talk about your past work experience, what roles you've done, what you enjoyed the most, where you want to go, take with you all of the stuff that you've done in this course. So, the job descriptions, the highlighted areas, the words that you wrote down that you want to feel. However you play this, you have to look like you're serious. So when you rock up at these meetings and you've got all of this stuff planned and in front of you, you're going to show them that you're taking this seriously. You're taking your career seriously, you're taking yourself seriously, and you're taking their time seriously. And they're more likely to give you everything, to give you all that they've got, all of their passion, all of their energy, and help you, okay? Now, I remember when I had my first meeting with my current mentor, we sat down, I had all of this stuff planned. And even though we didn't go through it, he loved that I had all of this stuff, because your first mentoring session can sometimes just be a coffee and a chat. They might just want to pick at things and you'll be thinking, really, we haven't done anything. We haven't got any plans in place. We've just had a really nice conversation that was just a bit fluffy. But remember, all of this stuff is important because they're going to need to understand who you are, what makes you tick, what drives you, all that kind of stuff. So the first meeting might seem a bit fluffy and a bit conversational, but just know that if they're doing that, that's probably a good thing, because they need to understand all of this stuff before they give you your plan and work you through a framework, okay? Now, you might have somebody like me. So my mentor is really, really experienced. He's mentored loads of people over the last 30 years. He has a very specific framework that he wants me to work through. But your mentor, the person that you've chose, might not have mentored anybody before. So you need to go in sometimes with a little plan of what you want to achieve. So maybe you're the person that needs to suggest that, you meet every 4 to 8 weeks. Maybe you're the person that needs to push them to have that call every other week. And if you do want them to be tough with you, say that. I need somebody to hold me accountable. Can you do that? You also need to be real with them to the point where, a little bit of self-awareness stuff here, and that's a little bit of advice. If you are naturally defensive when people challenge you, and you know that that's what happens when you are uncomfortable, you're going to need to work on that, okay? Because this mentoring relationship, if done well, is not one of those situations where you sit there and this person tells you how fabulous you are and how well you're doing. Yes, you want them to support you and all that kind of stuff, but you need to know the difference between a good week and a bad week. And you need somebody to sit there and challenge you, and you're going to need to get comfortable with that, really comfortable with that. So give that a lot of thought. Okay, now we've gone through all of that in this course, we've come to the end. So you should know how to develop your career plan, construct an effective personal development plan, and identify and get the most out of your mentor, that mentoring relationship. And once you've done that, all you need to do now is stick to it, okay? Stick to the plan and keep working hard, because that dream job, that dream business, whatever it is that you want to achieve is out there and you can absolutely do it. So thank you for watching this. Take care and good luck.